In this video, I'm going to talk about the webtoon Legend of the Northern Blade. Season 2 recently just released, and I thought now would be a good time to get into it and catch up. For those who don't know, it's a Korean webtoon that follows the story of a young swordsman, Jin Mu-Won, on his path to avenge his father, who was conspired against and killed. The biggest selling point of this webtoon is without a doubt the fight scenes. They are incredibly well choreographed, and it makes use of slow motion and close-up to make you feel like you're in the middle of the action. It's a bit clearer in terms of fight direction because you can actually see what's going on. It really elevates the webtoon and brings the story to life. Even though it's a work of fiction, it does include a feeling of weight and realism that makes the fight more impactful. It is also beautifully illustrated and detailed, featuring various landscapes that left me in awe. The story is nothing to scoff at either. It's engaging and well-paced, featuring a wide cast of developed characters with their own motivations and personalities. It explores themes of loyalty, honor, morality, and the cause of power that is emotionally resonant. The world building is incredibly rich and blends elements of politics, history, and rules which are explored in great detail. There's plenty of humor and emotional moments that keep you invested in the story, which I'll briefly talk about now. The gist of the story is that a century ago, a group called the Silent Knight suddenly appeared and started to wreak havoc on the world. Countless lives were consumed and destruction was everywhere. The Murim world, or martial arts world, decided to band together to form an alliance known as the Central Heavenly Alliance. They decided to create a group called the Northern Heavenly Sect to fend off the Silent Knight. The 4th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect, Jin Mu-Won, our protagonist's father, has dedicated his life to protecting the northern lands from this invader. He was backed by the Great Four, who consisted of the Demon Fist, Tempest Storm, Cursed Ghost Blade, and Ruler of Iron Blood. Suddenly, the invaders disappeared out of nowhere. Hearing that the Northern Heavenly Sect had become too powerful to deal with, the Central Heavenly Alliance decided to conspire against the sect leader by having the Great Four betray him. The leader disbanded the sect in order to protect all its members. As his final request, he asked that his son, the protagonist, be spared, and thus came the end of the Northern Heavenly Sect. It is now 3 years later, and Jin Mu-Won is still alive, albeit as a prisoner, with mercenaries employed by the Central Heavenly Alliance constantly watching him so he doesn't learn the martial arts of the Great Northern Heavenly Sect. His daily life consists of reading the same books over and over and practicing blacksmithing as a way to eventually earn his keep. He meets up from time to time with Mr. Huang, who was once part of the Northern Heavenly Sect, although as his weakest warrior. He has been working as a merchant in order to bring supplies to Jin. Although he is in a constant state of despair, he still climbs the tower day by day to build and solidify his will. He doesn't want to let his father's wishes of living on go to waste. However, this is also where the secret school of martial arts is hidden. The walls and buildings of the sect themselves form words containing the martial arts left behind by his father. This daily life continues on for a while until he meets a wounded girl who he saves. She only states her name as Sol, and we know nothing else as Jin decides not to pry. He stays at his home and recovers, while he keeps gradually training every day. Their somewhat peaceful daily life continues on for a few months until the Central Heavenly Alliance, the people who betrayed Jin's father, show up. It is during their visit that Jin briefly instructs one of the mercenaries, Mu-Sang, who showed kindness to him once during their stay. This man would later become Jin's first blade and play a crucial event in the later story. This chain of events leads to the Demon of Chaos showing up at the sect and massacring almost everyone. He's here looking for Sol, which turns out to be part of the Silent Knight, the group that suddenly disappeared after waging war for a century. Jin attempts to fend off the Demon of Chaos with the martial arts he learned, and manages to wound him enough until Sol's master shows up, the Witch of the White Knight. She chases him off and goes to kill Jin, the mortal enemy of the Silent Knight, when Sol steps in and begs for him to be spared as a first and final request. Having now truly lost everything, Jin sets off to train his martial arts in seclusion for the foreseeable future. This marks the end of the prologue, and the story continues 7 years later when Jin is an adult. Mr. Huang has gone missing and Jin sets off to look for him. This journey is where the story begins. Jin will meet comrades and enemies on his path to vengeance and learn the consequences of having power. Overall, I highly recommend checking out Legend of the Northern Blade if you're a fan of action webtoon. It's incredibly well written and the fight scenes are amazing. Go check it out and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.